morning, traders. It's Matt. I'm just going to do a quick little video for you going over the death line, what it is, how to utilize it, what's your win rate on it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, reach out. We can do a phone call or something like that, or I'll try to answer all your questions the best that I can. So let's get into the video. The first stock we're going to get into is OPTT. This one had a very distinct death line. So what the death line is it's basically a line that once it's breached, the chances of the stock coming back are highly unlikely, roughly only 10%. So we have a 90% win rate on this. They're going to at least the next price target. Sometimes you can get those, power hour squeezes at the end of the day where people hold out to the end of the day and then everybody's covering. I don't trade that way, so I never have to worry about that. But the death line is roughly 50% of the move. So if we look at the previous day's close on OPTT, here, hold on here, let's maximize this. So if we look at the previous day's close, somewhere around here, 160 roughly, we'll say 160. It made a high of 274, we'll say 275 to keep it simple. So we're looking at about $1.15 move. If we cut that in half, we're looking at like $1 or 57 cents roughly. We'll say 55, subtract 55 from 275, you get 220, which is this line right here. What does that also coincide with? The first major pullback, and this is really what you're looking for. Like I said, death line is roughly 50%, not always roughly. What you want to see is the first major pullback and something that solidifies some kind of support. So we can see right here, it pulled back, it touched this line 3 or 4 times, and then it ripped up. So somebody bought the dip. They got to a point right here where they're like, oh shit, this thing is getting way too cheap. We need to start buying this up, buying this up. But what this does is this creates back orders if it breaks this line. So what you want to see is that, one, form this support, have the pullback, form that support for the death line, roughly 50%, have a good amount of volume over top of it, because now we're just creating back orders. And then a lot of times what ends up happening is it'll fail a couple times, and then it will finally break it. So as we can see over here, it tried to push, it failed to hold it, came back around, tried again, failed, and then people started covering as they get scared. But I don't know, little pussies or something. But if you had a correct entry and a correct stop loss, you would be plenty good for all of this, or you could just got out down here and then re-shorted it up here, which is what I normally do. Right here, what we see is I tried to break through it again, almost held it, couldn't do it, and then finally it broke through. Now, this is really a perfect picture scenario because it broke the death line, it retested it, rejected it strong. Also, you have the VWAP as another resistance point right here, and we are downtrending. So when everything lines up, like there's no reason why you shouldn't take this trade. This trade is a perfect setup. Like maybe because you don't have like a 50-cent profit target. I think my profit target on this was like around 40 cents, 190. 30 cents, but it's a gimme. And the fact that this is only a $2 stock, you could have sized in. So if you normally use 2,000 shares, you could have put 4,000 shares on it. If you're above the PDT rule, you could recycle your shares on these. This is why I really like these. So say I shorted it right here with 3,000 shares, or we'll do 2,000 just to keep the math simple. So every time it comes down, I'm gonna cover half of my position, 1,000 shares. Whenever it pulls back up towards VWAP or some sort of resistance line, I'm going to add that 1,000 shares back on. Then when it breaks down again, I'm going to go ahead and cover that 1,000. When it pops up, I'm going to add it back on, cover, add, cover, and hit my price target, so I'll be out right here anyway. But basically what that's doing is that's allowing you to get more money. And it's also allowing you to lock in gains in case something crazy happened where this was reclaimed VWAP and squeeze up to the moon. Who knows? You'd still have money locked in either way. And what this does is this actually gives you a higher winning percentage and a higher odds of being green on the day. The percent of me being green on the day, making money for the day, is roughly 93% by using this strategy. I'm not a buy and hold type of person because I can't predict the future. You know what I mean? I don't have a crystal ball that I can rub and like, oh shit, this thing's going to die today. No, it just don't work that way. I don't really go by the history repeats itself thing, simply because history is created every single day. Not any stock is 100% alike because it's all psychology, it's all different buyers and sellers, supply and demand, news, everything makes a stock unique. Um, but using this strategy right here, it's just quick, easy money, 90% win rate. Like why would you not take that? If you had a pile of money just sitting on the floor, would you not walk up and just grab it? You know what I mean? Like, hey, damn, there's fucking $500,000 sitting in the corner of my house. Let me go fucking put it in the bank or something. If you didn't, you'd just be stupid. And it's the same thing with doing this. This right here is a gimme play, and you'll see this day in, day out. It's easy money. Take the money. Just take the money. Even if you're buying hold, you just short that bitch, set your orders up, and walk away. And there's a 90% chance you're going to come back and you're going to have money at the end of the day. Let's go over the one that kind of killed everybody, FFHL. We'll do this one. This one was a little bit of a pain, and because it went bullish and broke pre-market highs and held with volume, it totally completely changed the death line. So pre-market, the death line would have been right here, 270, whatever. I don't know. I don't like to get specific. I like to look at areas, and then I'll scale into that area. Because a lot of things don't always hit down on the penny. They'll get close, but they don't. So what I would look for on this, in order to be bearish, you would want to see the backside. The backside is going to be when it breaks this line and it's under VWAP. It never got there. If I could pull back a little bit to the nearest support level or consolidation, and it fucking ripped. This thing does trap people all day. It traps longs, it traps shorts. I actually called this out to one of the members, and the reason being why I thought it was going to rip up at the end of the day is because it's Friday. I mean, think about it. Who's going to want to pay overnight locate fees for multiple days on a stock that they don't know what the hell it's going to do? It does tend to close weak, but like I said, history can be new every single day. So that's why I thought it was going to go up, mainly just because of what day it was. If it was like a Wednesday, there'd be a good chance that this would probably fade down in the after hours, which it's kind of doing now, or even fade down throughout the day. But being Friday, shorts are going to want to cover. Simple. So knowing that this went bullish and just fucking was killing everybody, our death line is completely new now. So what we're going to look for on this one is where is the first major pullback. So we do have this little flag pattern right here. It's nothing major. Right here is the first major pullback. Went from 508 all the way down to 420. 80-cent drop. You know what I mean? That's roughly 20% of the pullback. That's pretty strong if you ask me. So we'll go ahead and just put a line right here, just for shits and giggles. I like to go off the real body too. I don't like to go off wicks. It's kind of why I use line charts, because line charts actually filter out wicks. And I trade line to line. I don't claim any of this strategy. And the strategy was completely invented by somebody else, but I've fairly mastered it, and I use it every single day. Anyways, so I actually long this stock later on, because the thing with the death line is the death line's not it's not like, oh my god, this is coming to the death line, let's short it. It's more of a, when it comes here, this is actually going to be the area where it's going to most likely bounce or reverse, because it's going to be the nearest heavy intraday support. So as we can see here, it came down here and it started doing this little downtrend, trapping shorts, and it hit this, hit our death line, and what it do? It ended up bouncing. And I actually went long around here. I had more orders all the way down to the bottom of this wick, but I didn't get filled on those ones. I only got filled on one order. As soon as it popped up, I sold it, because what you end up seeing a lot of times is it'll come back up, and then it'll come back down and retest it, and then it'll kind of, the bounces will get smaller, and then it'll fucking have a volume confirmation and just rip through, and then the stock will be over. This one didn't. Like the moment that it did this, popped up, and only made a higher low, it pretty much signaled like, hey, this is probably going to be a reversal. So then I felt like a dumbass because I already sold my shares and I didn't want to jump back in, because I felt like I had a good entry, and if I was going to get a different entry, it would just be chasing. And then it just kind of went up for the rest of the day. You trap some shorts here, then it ripped back up. Just, yeah, I don't know. Somebody was definitely, this was heavy manipulation. If I remember right, that stock only had like a million share float or something, so it wouldn't, I know people who could buy this whole entire float. So for me, it'd be very sketchy to try to short this, but there's a lot of money to be made either way. You know what I mean? Like if you know what you're doing and you already know that they're trying to trap people, then you can kind of think like, all right, where's the best place to get in and out if I was them? And by them, I'm talking market makers and somebody who has a hell of a lot of money. But let me try to draw this down on paint real quick. I'm going to apologize beforehand because I'm no fucking Picasso or anything like that, but just so you can get a rough understanding. So we're coming up. We'll say this is $1, right? We'll say up here is $2. So we're coming up, hit $2. We have a pullback to roughly the halfway point, $1.50. Rip up, I don't know, does a double top, comes back down, bounces, does this number, and then it tanks. So we'll say right here is our death line because it's the first major pullback and it's roughly 50% of the total move. Now, it don't have to be, you know what I mean? Like this could be, I don't know, 250, and down here it could be 150. But we're just looking for the first major pullback that's roughly 50%. And the ways to trade this, I think I stated earlier, is you can either short it when it breaks the death line with confirmed volume. I don't like to really do that, but a lot of times I'm normally short-handed. I already got a started position beforehand. Um, you can do that. You'll wait for either a pullback where it'll retest the death line and reject it and then continue down. It'll either come down and kind of consolidate and then fucking make its next leg down, or it can come down and just barely pop up and then fucking rip. Either one of these, but you're going to have to play it based on what you see. And then your price target will normally, for me anyway, will be the start of the move, where the move begin, because that's going to be the next support level. And I'll just trade line to line. I'll just come up here. We know that this is a resistance point. I'll just get in somewhere around this line, and I'll look to get out around this line. If it breaks this line, I'll get in, back at this line, and I'll get back out at this line. And I'll just do that all day, and it just adds up slowly but surely. But yeah, I want to apologize for my shitty drawing on that one. But if you guys have any questions, if you want to have a phone call or anything, want to go over charts, just let me know, shoot me a message, and I'll try to get back with you and answer any questions that you have. That's the best of my capability. Till then, stay green and good luck, guys.